Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Doruk, and today I have for you my 10th Hobbit League game in the 2026 season. And this has been one of the longest games I've ever played. And I don't know how long it's going to take to record this, so I'll try to be quick. But my opponent is Yellow Pookie. Uh, Again, hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And we agreed to play for. I agreed to play with free peoples for one action token. So yeah, this is the setup. Yeah, let's jump right into it. I hope this this video doesn't end up becoming a two-parter or something. So I'll try to be as quick as possibly I can. So okay, let's jump right into it. I start with Thranduil's Archers and Mirror of Galadriel. Thranduil's Archers is obviously great cyclable. It lets you see more cards, perfectly fine. And Mirror of Galadriel, I think it's definitely better earlier in the game. If you don't roll a will, you can maybe mitigate against that. Or, I mean, I don't think the healing effect is that relevant. So, but it can happen before the Fellowship moves past Lorien. So, for this game, I'm not seeing my opponent's cards. So let's see the starting rolls. So my opponent allocates 0 eyes, rolls 1, and I get 3 movement and a hybrid. So this turn, I think it's perfectly standard. I'm planning on moving 3 times, maybe use a token if I'm not revealed, because I don't want to just reveal myself into Moria potentially. And a hybrid. I mean, this hybrid probably makes the classic move, but yeah, my opponent got rolled also enough musters. I'm not sure if they have a playable card, but like a perfectly good roll for both of us, I would say. So I start by passing. They bring Sauron to war, which I was surprised about. They can clearly still bring Saruman in, so I guess that doesn't matter. Now they bring Isengard to war. I move, immediately get hit. It's a 1. Yeah, I just kill Gandalf. It is a bit of a question whether you kill Gandalf here, because I know I'll move again with another character dice. Like I have 2 more, so I'm more likely to move, but I might not get hit, and I might not even want to move a 3rd time into Moria. So maybe killing Gandalf here is still okay, but yeah, like it kind of is unfortunate that I didn't get to play Thranduil's Archer with a Palantir, but oh well. I think killing Gandalf is fine here. I usually, the more I play, I feel like killing Gandalf in the first opportunity you get is correct. But I'm not sure if it's always the case, like like here, because if I move again, I might not get hit, like I said. But like, what do I do with my final character die if I don't move a 3rd time into Moria, which is risky? Yeah. Yeah. Funnily enough, if they get Saruman, I can get Gandalf if I don't move again. So, I think killing Gandalf there is certainly correct, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with this other character. Let's see what happens. My opponent organizing armies, and they immediately go up Narrows of the Forest. They move out of Dol Guldur. Okay, when they do this, I think it's just good to block in Old Forest Road. They might trade 1 for 1, and this army could certainly not be big enough to take Woodland Realm, especially that I'm holding Thranduil's Archers, so I think this is certainly correct. My opponent draws a strategy card, I move again, and I'm caught again, and I'm revealed. So at least I found some use for this character die. Namely, I will probably hide with it. And here, again, a very interesting decision when you're revealed before Moria. Do you go through Moria, or do you go through High Pass? And seeing that my opponent had a very fast roll, like they managed to get Sauron to war. They're gonna get Saruman. They're already outside of Woodland Realm. I decided to go through Moria. Also, maybe because I have Mirror Galadriel. It is quite like high pass. Like they're attacking dew line, so they might also get rerolls on me. Clearly, Lorien's a little safer, so I decided to go through Moria, and I don't think that is necessarily wrong. My opponent is just going as fast as they can, so I also want to keep up with the Fellowship. So I reveal my opponent drops Morgul Wound. Okay, this is certainly not good. Now, all right, cool. I hide. My opponent gets Saruman. Okay, so I would say this was a really good turn by for Shadow, in terms of what had happened. I'm not sure if I like had left one dude there, but preference. Yeah, perfectly fine. First turn. Nothing more to say. Okay. Turn 2. I draw Faramir and Horn of Gondor. Could be useful. Not bad. Fellowship okay. My opponent allocates 2 eyes. And it rolls 1 more. Allocating 2 here is very interesting. Because like they clearly want to catch me going into Moria. So it makes sense. And they roll 1 more. So it was really good, and they didn't have the opportunity to put some rerolls on me, so I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't. Let's see. Okay, so I roll a very nice roll. I roll my Will of the West. Nice. Yep. So, what do you do here? Do you move immediately? If I move immediately, I'm at the mercy of this single character card, which could be Foul Thing, Isildur, something that reveals me into Moria, Nazgul Search, Strike, etc. So, seeing that I'm only going to move once, I think I should delay my movement as my last action. Maybe even like delay it with a token. And this is where a second token would have been really helpful, but oh well. I think I just have to move last. I have my will, so I will get Gandalf. I will probably play like Thranduil with the Palantir, and this hybrid can just go into mustering the elves. So yeah, just start. Like, I mean, I will get some rerolls on me, but I think probably turning off the cards is more valuable than turning off the reroll. If I'm caught, like I'm more than 50% likely to be revealed. Yeah, I think I'd much rather have a reroll on me than play into those cards. Because those cards, it's 5 out of 14 to reveal me. Nazgul Search guarantees. Nazgul Strike. Yeah, I just think it's fine to get a reroll on me if if it means I might avoid some cards in this situation. Even though they have a single card, maybe does that change the math? Yeah, I don't know. What do you do here? Do you play around the cards or do you play around the reroll as 3 people? It is a single card. I mean, they can draw another one and then play it potentially, but is that even worth it? Would I do that if I was Shadow, if I didn't have a actual Foul Thing or tile drawing, all those cards I was mentioning? So yeah, like yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Like 3 eyes, it's 42% ish odds to get caught. 4 eyes, it's 55 ish percent. It's just like an extra 10% to be caught. So is that 10% worth playing into those 5 cards, I think. Isildur, Orc Patrol, Foul Thing, Nazgul Search, Nazgul Strike. Yes. That's it. So yeah, those 5 cards. I mean, I can calculate. Give me 1 second. Okay, so actually, because they already had played Mulgrew Wound, they had a 5 in 22 chance to draw one of those 5 cards. Or 5 in 23 chance. Which is a little bit above 25%. And little less than... No, sorry, little less than 25%. Little above 20%. Around 22% that they might have a tile drawing card. And for that 22%, I would be giving away a 10% of getting caught. So probably it's more like likely that they draw a card than the extra 10% they get from catching me. So probably it's I should just wait. But it's an interesting bit of math here. I'm not really sure which one's correct. Probably the card, because if I get hit with the card, the consequences are much, much, much worse. Is it? Because if I get caught in the hunt, I might not even be revealed. But the card also has those laws. I generally don't know. I don't know. I think it's correct to cut. Okay, let's move on. But I move. I think I should wait, like I said, but oh well. I am safe at least. And my opponent plays Candles of Corpses, and I don't know why they don't use the Palantir. I guess they have a card that they really want to play. But like the moment I see Candles, I'm like, okay, fine. At least it's not one of those cards. And they get 2. So Fellowship is already at 5 corruption, and they're not even past Moria. They're in Moria. At least my opponent has literally 0 cards, so I'm safe for the turn. I pass. My opponent starts bringing down Southron Easterlings. Would I be tempted? Is that what I would do? I think that's fair. Yeah, you want to reinforce the dual line potentially. Orthanc would be a little premature. But maybe you want to like pincer Woodland Realm with Rivendell, so maybe start mustering in North Dunland would be an interesting idea. But again, I don't know your cards, so I get Gandalf. My opponent gets the what? They can't get the Witch King. They undo. They upgrade an Orthanc. Okay, that's fair. Personally, I like mustering into Orthanc just a regular single elite instead of upgrading, because what you really need is the extra units in Orthanc. Like, you need to increase the amount of army units you have so that you can keep rolling 5 dice and keep your leadership. It's a bit of like both actions, adding an elite or upgrading adds 2 hit points to the army. So it's a quite an interesting interesting decision which one to go for. Maybe if you have if you can reinforce this Orthanc army with South Dunland, maybe after a Voice or a New Powers Rising through maybe Shadows Gather or Lengthens, it's better to maybe just upgrade immediately. But considering you also want to leave some units to protect Saruman, I just like putting an extra unit there by like normal means, but I'm not sure which one's correct. So if you have an opinion on that, feel free to share. Okay, now that my opponent does not have the time to attack into Woodland Realm, I decide to play Horn because I am very much high on corruption and I want to save as much as possible. And even if they have a Palantir attack like Ring Rates or Abroad, which would be the only card that allows them to attack with the Palantir, I can just play Thranduil next turn. So I think this is certainly fine. They organize armies, that's fine. I muster down the elves, and they draw a character card. Okay. Cool. So we go to turn 3. I draw Wisdom of Elrond. We prove the Swifter. Fine. Like, it's a little early for we prove the Swifter, but I'm not gonna complain. My opponent allocates 2 eyes, presumably to still catch me, but I'm gonna move immediately, so I'm not sure allocating 2 there makes a lot of sense. I mean, they are keeping up with the corruption pressure, so that's fair. And I roll a very beautiful roll, right? Very flexible. So I immediately move, and I'm safe. Okay, so this is the situation that I wanted to be in, and my opponent drops Orc Patrol. I mean, they have seen 2 new strategy cards, so this is fair. Again, for some reason, they're not using a Palantir. And even in the last turn, they used their Palantir to draw a strategy card. Instead of playing the Candles of Corpses. I think, yeah, using the Palantir to play a card is much better if you end up going to do that. But let's see if they use the Palantir this turn as well. And they do reveal me. They do reveal me here. Which is unfortunate, for sure. Yeah. And they get to draw another tile, and it's a 0 reveal. I guess a little bit of luck in that way. It could have been much worse. It's not great, but you know, it's 1 less tile that's good for me in the future. But oh well. So my opponent brings down Saturn Easterlings. I hide with a hybrid, and here my plan was, at this point my plan was I want to say simple. Nah, like it's not simple. So my plan here here's what I was thinking. So I wanted to, before I hid, I wanted to maybe separate Strider with a We Prove the Swifter into Minas Tirith and crown him with this will. Okay, so like that was the idea. That was the initial idea. And stick Fellowship into Lorien. Just get an extra move and put Strider, crown him, just heal a little bit from those Morgul Wounds, Candles, all those nasty cards. Just heal them from a bit. And I already have Mirror of Galadriel. I can use it for its card effect. It is a really good idea to me. It just felt like a good idea. But like I didn't have an extra movement. So if I was going to move, I need to give them a ring. Separate Strider, crown him. Right? This was my idea. So with the other hybrid die, I needed to hide. But then I thought to myself, there is literally no rush to getting Strider. Like getting Aragorn, I mean. I can still play We Prove the Swifter and reach Minas Tirith from Lorien. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, exactly. So, and I do have Mirror of Galadriel. So in next turn, for example, if I play Mirror of Galadriel, turn one of my seed cards, seed die to Will of the West, then I get the crowning die for Aragorn and heal for an extra turn. Like that's really good. If I don't roll a natural Will of the West, like that's what I was thinking. So this turn, I just need to get into Lorien and not even give my opponent a ring. And meanwhile, I can use the extra Palantir and the hybrid die to maybe muster some elves and just be a nuisance. So that was my like grand idea, and that's like why I decided to hide with this hybrid. My opponent attacks Old Forest Road. They don't play a card. Probably should just play... Do I play a Confusion? Probably. It's better to not. It's better than throwing it away. So, but they don't confuse themselves. It's a 1-1 trade. Yeah, and now this army is very tiny. I mean, it could certainly take it had I not had Thranduil's archers, but I do. So So now with this will I move, it's a second move against 2 eyes. It's about a 50% to get caught. And obviously I really don't want to get revealed. Like, this is my Lorien move, technically, so... And it's a 6 out of... what? It's literally half. It's 50-50 to reveal, 50-50 to hit. So it's like a 25% chance that I get revealed here. And I'm caught and I'm revealed. So, like, the disappointment that I felt at this time in the game was like immeasurable. Because I was like, oh, I have a beautiful plan. I'm gonna get into Lorien. I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna separate Strider, play mirror, and then just have a merry old time. Like that was the idea. But now, yeah, it's just unfortunate. So here I decide to take a random, but maybe it's wrong, because maybe the best thing I can do is just separate Strider into Minas Tirith and Crown Aragorn. But like, I lost my healing. I really first and foremost, I really wanted to heal. 1 second. Okay, we're back. So where were we? Yeah, I wanted to primarily heal in Lorien. And if I can't do that, I really don't want to separate Strider, because like, Strider's just a 3 corruption. I already took way too much damage. I really cannot afford to deal too much damage to myself. So separating Aragorn is good. The crowning Aragorn is good. Only if I can wait with the Fellowship a little bit and cause and make back some of the time that I'm wasting in Lorien healing to cause some troubles with Aragorn. So, but like, if I only crown Aragorn and then keep moving with the Fellowship at the same pace, I just basically end up dealing 3 corruption damage to myself. So I take a random. I can't afford to go any higher. It is Pippin. It's just kind of funny. I send him to Svangorn, just hang out with Gandalf. Probably could send him in Lorien, but like, I had Reprove the Swifter, which allows me to move Gandalf and still threaten Ents, so that's why I did it. And yeah, now we're in Part Celebrand. I really wanted to be in Lorien, and it would have been beautiful, beautiful play to get into Lorien, but alas, sometimes the game does not allow what you want to do. So my opponent okay, uses the voice to muster some units. Fair. Here, I really didn't know what to do with the Palantir at this stage, so I drop Thranduil's Archers. Like, the idea was get into Lorien with a move, and then we prove the Swifter Aragorn here, but alas. Yeah, at least I draw into Kingsbrand's, which is a great, great card. My opponent uses the voice again, and they're clearly signaling going for Helm's Deep at this point. So maybe with this final hybrid, I should just shore up. Okay, yeah, I don't hate this. Defending from Fords or Helm's Deep is certainly a question, but if I have another half army movement, that's already useful. So I think defending from Fords is basically the same thing as defending in a stronghold. So my opponent drops Shadows Moving. They move Daggerlad, Minas Morgul, Gaparohan. I think that was a very well played Shadows Moving, because yeah, you had a bunch of armies that you wanted to move and very efficiently managed to move them. So yeah, no pointers there. I think that was a really good turn. Really good play. So we go to turn 4. Draw into guards, Mithril, okay. Fellowship, okay. Opponent keeps allocating 2 eyes, rolls 2 more. and I get a bunch of movements. So this is what the game sometimes does to you, right? Like you're already high on corruption. You really want to maybe move slowly, or at least move against small eyes. But my opponent allocated two eyes, so it's not crazy that they roll two more, right? Like, you know, but like, and I get bunch of movement, so we'll see what happens. And given these rolls, what do I do? Like, do I still crown Aragorn? Excuse me. Do I still crown Aragorn here? I really didn't want to just crown Aragorn and basically, but maybe crowning Aragorn and just going slowly with the Fellowship is just good. And maybe I should have used the Palantir last turn to not play Thranduil, but to separate him. So maybe it's a bit of a missed opportunity, but like maybe like not getting into Lorien threw me off a little bit too much. But yeah, I certainly don't want to move like more than twice, probably, right? So given this roll, probably I should just separate Strider, crown, hide, move once, and do something with the Palantir. Meanwhile, my opponent got just a bunch of like the attacks and a single muster. So let's see. Okay, I hide. My opponent is moving out of Mordor. I play King's Brandon. Okay, so this is a bit of a... Yeah, I certainly don't want to move. And my opponent has brought these like huge armies. And crowning Aragorn like is maybe good, but it also deals too much corruption damage to myself. I really don't know. I was like, I guess looking to do something with this will, and I really didn't have anything to do with it. This big army can go to Druden Forest. If I crown Aragorn, now I have to move him out. I really don't know. Like it's a very interesting turn for free people. Like what would you have done with this roll? Yeah. So I play King Brandsman. I mean, they could also attack Dale. I'm not sure why they would just put the North to war like that. But I really wanted to be able to play it, so probably rushed it a little too hard. But, oh well. My opponent is attacking forwards. They play a strategy card. Yeah, what do you play? I mean, I also could have played Faramir. Why didn't I play Nafa, play Faramir? Yeah, I don't know. I think I was like too scared of this attack into Dale and not being able to play King Brandsman. But there's literally no reason for them to attack Dale and put the North to war. Actually, there is a reason. they don't have the Witch King. Okay. Okay, now it all makes sense. But then if they were gonna do that, they could have done it immediately, right? Like, why did I hide if that was such a rush? And if I was Shadow, would I have done that? They had 3 attacks to put a nation to war. This army cannot... This army that was in Daggerlad cannot reach Minas Tirith. I mean, if they really cared, I guess they could attack Pelargir. But yeah, if I had 3 attacks only and I was like gonna do this move around, maybe I just abandoned the dew line and attack Dale. But that seems very risky. Yeah, that would have been a crazy... If they attack Dale, put the North to war just to get the Witch King. Now all of a sudden the dew line is the Northman is just gonna go buck wild. But you plan on taking Rohan and Gondor anyway, so do you really care? I don't know. It's certainly tough for Shadow as well. Like, or you just move out of North Ithilien and just attack Osgiliath and attack Minas Tirith, or you might just attack Pelargir once. If I attack Pelargir, I have to muster in Dol Amroth, probably. You can get the Witch King. And then maybe pivot back to Minas Tirith. Yeah, like how would Shadow best play this turn? I think trying to get the Witch King is certainly correct, but I'm not sure the way they're going about it is good. And if they do it that way, then yeah, there's really no reason for me to play King Brandsman. I should really play Faramir. But if I'm playing Faramir, I can only muster here once. Like, this is a very hard turn for me, and I think my opponent should have just attacked Gondor a little stronger. But oh well. So my opponent played a strategy card in Fords of Eisen. I play advantageous position. Why do I play advantageous position against the strategy card? Yeah, why wouldn't I? Okay, cool. Desperate Battle, okay. So it saves me 2 hits, so it's perfect. It's really nice. That's two hits, anyways. And I deal 1. A little unfortunate, but oh well. So we retreat into Helm's Deep. Okay, I play Faramir, North Ithilien. Faramir deals 2 damage. Really nice. Cool. Good job, Faramir. Cool. My opponent is going towards Helm's Deep and Western Nimminwheel. They're doing the walk around, classic walk around. I move once, I am hit again, and I'm revealed again. Cool. And I just take the 1 hit because I need to be efficient with my corruption. So, okay, we go up. Okay, my opponent upgrades an Orthanc. I guess they were scared of a double lens play. But I really don't think that there's any rush to doing this. Or maybe I have an ants bet, or maybe I draw 1. Yeah, you don't really know. And you don't really have anything else to do with the muster. Because no nation's still not at war. So yeah, I don't hate it. Perfectly fine play. I high with the final character. Okay, cool. I still have holding on to this muster, so maybe like I should use it somehow, but using it for Gondor doesn't seem correct. They're not thinking about attacking Osgiliath. They're clearly going around from Druiden Forest into Minas Tirith, so we'll see. Okay, I draw into Book of Azarbal and Eagles are coming. I mean, advantageous position and Heroic Death are nice, so Fellowship, okay. My opponent allocates 2 eyes again, rolls 1 more. And again, I get this bunch of characters kind of roll. So, and the hunt pool is almost like out of reveals. Like there's only 4 reveals in 10 tiles, so it's not crazy, but okay. So we start by moving. I don't want any rerolls on me. And I'm caught, and you know, it's a 2. Cool. We take a random, it's Legolas. Okay, nice. I'm not revealed. So my plan here was literally I'm just gonna get myself into Minas Tirith. I really need to heal some damage. And Shadow Military is definitely not going fast. It is going slowly. So I can afford to wait and heal a couple turns in Minas Tirith for sure. Like maybe, now that that's my plan, maybe I crown Aragorn. But still, I wanted to keep him as a corruption shield more so than anything. But like, my plan is to, okay, I'm just gonna throw myself into Minas Tirith, and it was unlikely, okay, that I got caught in the first movement again, but even if I'm caught, there's a chance that I'm not revealed, right? So I probably am just going to move again. So my opponent puts some rerolls on me and they go to Whale of Karnan, which I don't really understand. I guess they're looking to merge these two armies eventually in Whale. So, okay. So I immediately move. I think this movement is definitely wrong. And here's why. Even if I'm not got, if I even, my opponent is rolling 5 dice on 5s. So it's about what? I think it's about 80% chance that they catch me. And even if I'm not caught, they could very well have a one of the character cards that draw a tile, or Nazgul Search or Strike that reveal me, that denies me Minister it again. So really, this movement is wrong. I should probably like do something else and try to maybe bait them to use one of these Palantir, one of these card playing dice to be able to maybe move it. But like if they reveal me, I can still hide and get in anyways. So getting revealed in Druiden Forest is not the end of the world. So, but I should probably move last. I'm still like not crowning Aragorn. Maybe that's an idea still, because Mordor is a little bit open now that this army in Mornon has gone to Eastamnet. But yeah, this is certainly tough. This is a tough decision. I kept the 3 musters if I really need to muster maybe Lorien, perhaps, because this army can definitely pivot up to Lorien. Yeah, well, what would you do? It's a very interesting turn as well here. But I am caught, but I'm not revealed. Okay, so I take and I kill Strider here. This is why I kept Strider alive, just to be able to efficiently take a 3. And yeah, I like I said, I was not planning on crowning him, because I really needed to save on corruption. That's basically my idea, and I'm just going to use the will and the rest of my cards, the rest of my dice, to potentially defend the Lorien. So there's really, I don't have enough dice to crown him. Maybe 2 turns ago it was fine, but now it's definitely way too late. But like I said, like when you're doing so badly in corruption and you separate Strider, like you're just dealing too much damage to the Fellowship. So I really don't know what's the best way of balancing those two things out. Like I would want it to crown Aragorn, yes, but like corruption's already as high as it is, so like, hard to make that call. So I basically just say, okay, I'm just gonna kill Strider, gonna try to get down to Gollum. That would also save a bunch of corruption, because all these tiles are excellent for Gollum. It basically, all these tiles are -1. It's saving corruption. Gollum saves a lot of corruption if you manage to get him. So my opponent attacks Helm's Deep. I muster the elves down with a token. Okay. Why am I throwing the turn order here away? Yeah, I'm basically saying, okay, can I muster an elite? Okay. My opponent used their final attack. They need 2 attacks to besiege Lorien, but they only have 1. Maybe a second one with a Ringwraiths or a Brought. So they can still besiege it, but that would allow me to muster in Woodland Realm. And I really don't know where to put this will. Maybe Rohan gets a muster. So yeah, maybe seeing what my opponent does here is correct. Okay, yeah, I really don't hate it. Like, let's see where my opponent is deciding to go, and then I can decide to put my dice to where they're going. So here my opponent plays Nazgul Strike. So this is one of the situations I was talking about where they're on 5 dice. They're definitely gonna hit me. They're gonna catch me. Yep. They could have another reroll, but it's fine. And had they revealed me, that would have been disastrous because that would also deny me Ministrit. And getting revealed there was a literally 50-50. So was that a little lucky? Sure. I mean, saying that you got lucky on a 50-50 it feels a little dirty because like I've been getting caught all over the place, and one time I got lucky, it was actually just a coin flip, so it's as likely not to happen as it is. So, but like, okay, fair. And my opponent definitely had needed to have the card, but if they had a Nazgul Search, that would have been disastrous. That would have been a guaranteed reveal and guaranteed denial of Ministrit. So, I'm gonna consider myself lucky not to have gotten it, and I take it here, and I take the corruption. I don't know if this is correct, and mainly because I want to be efficient with my companions. It's one of the most awkward tiles. I mean, it's good, I would much rather a non-reveal than reveal, so I'm happy. But it's the most awkward non-reveal tile to take damage for. Because it's inefficient. So I just take it on the track. I feel like I'm gonna heal it off in Minister. So okay. I muster the Oust War naturally. So I think this might be wrong because I'm just giving them a free Witch King. But like I was thinking, okay, they're just gonna attack Helm's Deep and get the Witch King anyway. I'm basically giving them a free cycle, essentially, with this attack. So, but it's a big question what I do with this character die. That I should decide on like right now, and then do that. Probably looking at the board. This was definitely gonna maybe muster in Lorien, probably like as seeing as that's where they're going, or this muster I can muster in Rohan. So I should definitely find some use for this character die and do that. And the best thing I can think of is probably just moving. Oh, I can't move the Dale army. Maybe just bringing in some Faramir into Minas Tirith, just to shore it up. I can technically move out Gandalf somewhere, but I don't know where. I'm not gonna move. Yeah, I just think that I should probably just move Faramir into Minas Tirith and just say, hey, how are you gonna get the Witch King? Are you gonna get the Witch King? So this was a bit of a mistake. My opponent drops dreadful spells here. Yeah, because they don't need to attack right now, but Helm's Deep, they roll 3, they get 2, which is dreadful spells doing dreadful spells things. Okay. Because they make that attack and it's not actually an attack, Rohan does not move down, and I don't get a muster. So I muster in Lorien, but and they get the Witch King in Eastamnet. And what do I do with this? See? Yeah, I move. So, yeah, if I was going to do that, I should have done it first to at least give my chance, not only give them a free Witch King, but also give myself the opportunity to maybe muster in Edoras or Fold. Like just start building an army in Rohan. My opponent definitely could not have reached Lorien at that point, so maybe Lorien was safe. But yeah, I should have been a bit more patient with my muster. So definitely not the best played sequence there by me. But we go to turn 6. So I draw an Ents and Kindred of Glorfindel. Okay. Advantageous position is nice. Maybe I should have killed the guards. Now that Minas Tirith is already stocked up. But yeah, I felt like there's no threat to Rivendell, so I can just throw that away. And Book of Mazarbul is, again, another advantageous position. I feel like advantageous position is good. Maybe I should just get rid of one Heroic Debt, but Heroic Debts are also really nice, so... Okay, moving on. Fellowship is declared and administered. Okay, so we heal. Cool, that we really need that. My opponent allocates a single eye because they have to, and they roll one more. Okay, and I get this beautiful roll, right? The die face that I really want to avoid is the character because I really don't have anything to do with it. But so I just roll none, basically, so I can just do some stuff. Master Gondor. Whoa. Okay, I don't want to get David out down, so I want to use one of the cards, but Master Gondor down. My opponent got a lot of attacks, so they can certainly just even pivot back to Minas Tirith or do some, or like reach Dol Amroth. So I don't hate this. Yeah, how else am I gonna use that will with? How else am I gonna use that will? Muster one more elite in Lorien. No. Play a card. Yeah. What would you do with this will as free people? This is a big question. Like, I really literally want to wait, but if I wait, I get Day Without Dawn for 2. And that would really be disastrous. Maybe it's okay getting Day Without Dawn for 2, but I really don't think so. Yeah, okay. Mastering Gondor seems like the best thing I could do. Fair. My opponent attacks Osgiliath from Western Horondor. Okay, at least I managed to get some benefits. No card, they get a hit. I get none. They press. I go to Pelargir. Okay, now Gondor's at war. Oh, if Gondor's at war, I should really start mustering in Pelargir, maybe? Given that Corsair is not a threat anymore. Yeah, okay. I'm glad we fixed it. Okay, I muster a leader in Minas Tirith and a regulator Pelargir. Okay, this is fine. My opponent is clearly gonna stack up with North Ithilien and gonna besiege Helm's Deep. Sorry, Minas Tirith. So my opponent, okay, besieges Minas Tirith, and yeah, if you besiege an army, it does count for rerolls. So I think my opponent did this so that the army in Minas Tirith doesn't get out of hand. But I was just like, I'm just gonna heal there. So I'm not really planning on sallying out. But like it's certainly a good play because Mordor's quite open. If I manage to get some companions in maybe and attack, it would be quite significant. Though this army is, yeah, again, huge. So I really need to muster a little bit more in Gondor before I'm able to do that. And my opponent just puts it under siege. And I don't think they can like really threaten it with this army here, especially with no leadership. But yeah, my other plan, if they just move all the Nazgul here, I have Viprue the Swifter to bring in Gandalf. I really need Fellowship to stay in Minas Tirith as long as they can, so that I can heal. So I want to give them the opportunity. So my opponent attacks Helm's Deep. Strategy card against... I'd much rather play cards than throw them away, so I play Heroic Debt. They get 2 hits, which Heroic Death saves me. I get nothing. They press. No card. They get a hit. I don't get a hit. So Rohan really did not fight at all, which is unfortunate, but they are at war. So where do you muster as free people? Do you muster in Rohan or do you muster in Gondor? I think you should. I should muster in Rohan because certainly could be a nuisance. Okay, let's go put some dudes. Block the easy merging of these armies and start mustering in Edoras. I think that's certainly fair. Um, but my opponent, yeah, my opponent just says, okay, I'm gonna reinforce Minas Tirith. I'm just gonna take Lorien. This 913 is definitely not strong enough to take Lorien. But obviously Moria is right there, so they can just reinforce it very quickly. So I totally fine, like totally fine play by my opponent if they just like leave Rohan completely. Maybe with the amount of attacks my opponent had, it's better to just cover Rohan and just say, okay, that's not going to be ever a problem, and that's 3 points. Minas Tirith, if you assume that you're taking that, that's 5. It's really unclear where my opponent's going to get their points, by the way. So that's why I'm banking on the Fellowship to heal a bit. So opponent recruits some Nazgul. Okay. They play Shelob. I draw a character card. I really didn't know, again, have anything to do with this Palantir. Like, I really don't want to play Mithril Coat because Worn and Sauron Toil is still in the play in the game, and I really need this card to stay alive basically in the future. So I don't want to play it. Maybe playing one Ents is fine. One like just, but I didn't have another card to pair it with, so I just drew a character card, and it's a good one. Like it saves me corruption, so. Had I had Axe and Bow, I would play it. Do you draw a strategy card? Probably not. Yeah, I don't know. What do you do with that Palantir? Just. I could play We Prove the Swifter and stick Gandalf in, but I'm really hoping that's a surprise. So. My opponent attacks Lorien. Okay, fair. Cool. I draw Círdan and Alvin Rope, and this is what do you throw away? Here, it's very very. You definitely throw away Mirror of Galadriel, and the other card you probably throw away is Círdan's ship. As crazy as that sounds, because Gondor's already at war, Corsairs isn't being threatened, and Elven strong force pool is almost depleted. So let's see what I throw away. Okay, I did throw away Círdan, and okay, that's good. Fellowship heals again. That's really good. Opponent allocates 1 eye and rolls 2 more and just bunch of bounties. So this is one of those rolls that I was like really happy to see. I'm just hoping that they don't have many useful things to be able to do with the Palantirs, and that basically the only way that's going to give me enough time to maybe even heal another turn. And I only roll 1 movement. So I'm happy, like, I don't want to just 1 turn rush into Mordor with 3 movements. It's very unlikely, and that's basically just nullifies the healing I did in Minas Tirith. So it's really questionable whether I should move with this character or not. But I do have cards I want to play, like Axe and Bow and Elven Rope. I do have useful things to do with the monster, so this is a perfectly acceptable role for me. So I start by passing. My opponent attacks Westamnet. No card, no card. In hindsight, maybe I should not have passed, and instead of Mustard and Westamnet and Edoras 1 more time. Seeing that my opponent only had 2 attacks, they can't even really threaten Dol Amroth, so I really don't have anywhere else that would require the musters. So probably should have mustered in Westamnet and Edoras. But my opponent gets a hit. I don't get a hit. I don't think any. Did I get a single hit off the Rohirrim? Probably not. Okay, whatever. I mustered Edoras and fold. Okay, I realized my mistake. My opponent attacks Lorien here, and yeah, I'm not really sure because this is the last attack that my opponent has. which allows me to just build a much bigger army in Rohan. So, yeah. What would I do with this attack as Shadow? Probably attack Edoras at least. To take it when it's small. But okay. They attack Lorien. They play a strategy card. Funny thing is, I really don't have any... I can play the guards. Mind you. Like, this would be a really good charge. But like my thought was I really need Minas Tirith to hold. And my opponent is gonna throw everything at it. So my opponent is clearly going for Lorien, Rohan for 5, Minas Tirith for 7, a city for 8, and either like Woodland Realm or maybe Dol Amroth, the rest of Gondor for the 10 victory points. So they're clearly targeting Minas Tirith. Maybe if they draw Rage or something, they can maybe think about Rivendell. But they're clearly going to attack Minas Tirith, and I really want to keep this card in hand to be able to defend it. So I really didn't want to play it. So if I tell myself I'm not gonna play Guards of the Citadel, I really don't have anything else that I can play. And my opponent plays Desperate Battle. They get 3 hits, and I get 3 back. Okay, at least I did some damage. Yep, you draw after. So I take my casualties like this to such that I have some regulars in the pool. My opponent presses. No card. They play Great Host, but this is a very risky Great Host. If I deal 2 damage, it will definitely not trigger. They get 2 hits. I get 3. So this was a really... Obviously, it was a little lucky for me. But also was a little above average for them, so it's perfectly fine. So the 3 hits... I take my hits such that they cannot trigger the Great Host. And yeah, they will need to reinforce Lorien. So I don't think... Had I rolled 4 extra dice that hit on 5s, maybe I can sortie out and kill the Witch King. But that obviously would... Like, the Alvin Strong force pool is very empty. I can't even rebuild an army. So Lorien will eventually fall anyway. And then... Yeah, like, maybe it's fine to play the charge there. I really don't know. Would you have played the charge? I mean, if you know the combat is going to go like this, maybe. It's a very tough decision. Because if the charge gets nothing, if I just throw it away, I might not, like, get it. Maybe, like, if it gets me 2 hits, do I sortie out? For 2 hits on 4 dice. If I had a Valor, maybe. It's really tough. It's really tough. I don't know. I don't know what the correct play was there. I mean, charging for 4. If you're not charging for 4, when are you going to charge? But okay, well, moving on. So I muster an elite in Otheros because my opponent doesn't have any attacks, as far as I know. They have 2 character cards. Maybe Black Captain Commands, maybe Ringwraiths are abroad. I think they would have played Grond, but yeah, let's see. They play Shadows Gather and just restock in Lorien. So I'm not sure if I really agree with this play, because this army is really needed to just take over Rohan. Like, Rohan is now really, really unchecked, and I mean, I think they do a good, nice split to not leave everybody away and not to take away everybody, because then I would be able to retake Helm's Deep. But if you have Shadows Gather, I'd much rather Shadows Gather from maybe Dol Guldur or Moria or maybe even North Dunland. But if you're keeping these units to attack Rivendell, maybe like it's tough. With this play, you're basically saying is that you're not gonna go for Edoras. So maybe just sticking these dudes into Helm's Deep is and just waiting is fine. But yeah, maybe I don't really hate it that much. You can Shadows Gathered into Vale of Karn with these units as well. Like, I'm not sure if this is the best way to use Shadows Gather, but we'll see. Okay, let's see. Elven Rope. Again, it's tough to say when I'm not seeing their cards. So that's okay. They have Fighting Urukai. Okay, that's why they wanted to use a Palantir effectively. Okay, this makes sense if that's the case. Yeah, for sure. You're just saying, okay, I'm gonna give up on Edoras, stick these guys back into Helm's Deep, take Lorien, and keep the rest of the units to attack Rivendell. And that would be 4, 6, 8, 2 cities for 10. So that makes sense. They play a character card. It's a Foul Stench. They get a single hit. I get 1. Okay, let's just speed this up. Character card, and I guess they cycle into Balrog. So, and they get 1 pre, 1. I get 2 back. No card. They don't get a hit. I don't get a hit. And the Lorien survives for 1 more time, which is really nice. That's gonna waste another die. I draw a character card. I think I was trying to find an Ent. At this point, I decided that I'm not gonna move out of Minas Tirith and just try to find an Ent and maybe like double Ents with this character into Axe and Bow. But like hindsight, I am at effective 0. Sorry, I'm at effective 1, and I still have 3 movement to make, so it's still high. I do still have Athelas, all the blue tiles, Bilbo's song, stuff like that. So drawing character cards is good, and I'm basically saying I'm gonna heal 1 more time in Minas Tirith. But the question is if I have the time to do so. Lorien's done. Minas Tirith, I'm basically in my head making my last stand in Minas Tirith. So Lorien done, Helm's Deep done. That's 4. I think you go for Rivendell. That's 6. So like maybe because if this takes 2 turns, I will get into Mordor turn 9. And Mordor will take me 2 more turns. Turn 11, like, can you not win militarily by turn 11? I feel like you certainly can. Like, if you muster Bunch in Dol Guldur and and in Mort Dunland, and just pincer the Rivendell and Woodland Realm, that's like 4 more points. Like, it's certainly doable. You might not even need to take Minas Tirith. So maybe I need to get going. Maybe waiting there is wrong. Plus, like moving on a 6 is good, right? So I think I should have moved there, but okay. So I now like play Axe and Bow and move, right? Like there's no. And I think I got a little too greedy with the heal, and I decided to stay 1 more turn. Turn 8, I draw Athelas and Path of the Voses. Right now, excellent cards, like genuinely possibly the best 2 cards I can get. Probably get rid of. I will go alone, maybe. I mean, it's healing, but I have some companions, so yeah. Fellowship heals again. So I healed 3 times in Minas Tirith. But the big question is, and my opponent rolls a single eye, which I would really like. Had they rolled no eyes and I got a free Mordor, that would have been huge. but maybe against a single eye I can move 3 times. So that's also good for me. So let's see. I get 2 movement. Maybe with the ring I can move in, but like this is definitely, I cannot afford to wait any longer. I muster Netheros. My opponent attacks Lorien. They want to get that done. Foul Stench. They get their hit. I get a hit. Okay. Lorien took away like 4 dice out of them. Like Shadows Gather, Fighting Urukai, couple attacks. Like it certainly did its job. I pass. My opponent is stocked up in Minas Tirith, and they're bringing armies down again. They pass. I pass. They start mustering in South Rune, and okay, this also is a very valid. This South Rune army is away 1, 2, 3, 4 movements away from reinforcing Old Forest Road. But it can certainly attack Erebor. But like if I'm Shadow, I'm definitely attacking Woodland Realm and or Rivendell at the stage. It's really difficult to defend as free people, to defend both, because I have a single elite in the pool. So, yeah. And the north is not at war, so maybe my plan as free people should be to bring the north down to be able to defend Woodland Realm. But let's see. They mustered in South Rune again, so now this is certainly getting dangerous, I think. And okay, I need to move. I need to know if I need to use this hybrids to get ring move into Mordor or what. My opponent is building a massive army, and they catch me, and they reveal me again. You know, sometimes sometimes you just get caught in the hunt. Yeah, so okay, I use Axe and Bow. I'm in Osgiliath. All the character cards are now back online. Okay, and my opponent musters again in South. So now this massive army can certainly take Erebor even. But oh well, I hide. My opponent plays Shadow Lengthens. Beautiful play. One interesting note: my opponent mustered 3 times in South Rune. If you had mustered 3 times in Dol Guldur, you could have already like brought a massive force, a 6-3-1 to Old Forest Road. Instead, it's 5-4, 5-4. I think at this board state, my opponent is clearly going for the entire dual line, but I would really be inclined to go for Rivendell and Woodland Realm and Dale, like these 5 points instead of Erebor, and not touch the dwarves. And that's 5 points. Lorien 7, 9. Yeah, that's, you don't even have to go for Dale if you really are scared of the north getting active. Minas Tirith, I think Minas Tirith, like you're hoping that you get it. Like you might get it if you attack it slowly. That's fine. Okay, we're back. So yeah, let's try to speed it up a little bit. Okay. My opponent played a nice Shadow Lengthens to restock up armies, and now I'm just mustering a big army in Edoras. So this Witch King army is definitely not strong enough to take on this Rohirrim. I do have Ents. If I get to kill this army, I can retake Helm's Deep, so that's huge. My opponent drops Palantir of Orthanc. I muster a leader, and I'm just keeping. I just keep in, keep mustering Rohirrim. So my opponent moves Nazgul around. They're gonna clearly going for Minas Tirith, and this dual line makes sense. Now turn 9, draw the Wizard Staff and Grimbjorn. So this is a very interesting situation. It's mainly because, it's mainly because I'm planning on bringing Gandalf into Minas Tirith, and yeah, like Wizard Staff could definitely be playable, but it's only on combat roll, so it's like not the greatest card. But like again, what else do I throw away? Scouts is really good for Dale, actually. An excellent top deck. Atlas, I really need to maybe heal, keep healing. We prove the Swifters, how I get Gandalf, Mithril is great, Ents is great, Guards is great. Like, what do I throw away? It's really difficult. Probably throw away Wizard Staff, unfortunately. And what? Like, I genuinely don't know. Probably the Scouts, but yeah. What do you throw away here? Okay, I throw away the Scouts, but with a heavy heart, unfortunately. Okay, probably I should get rid of Guards. I should have gotten rid of Guards. Maybe I've been like holding on to a Pipe Dream, but oh well. So my opponent allocates one eye, rolls one more. I really need to get into Mordor this turn, and I get the roll to do so. But like first things first, I don't want to get hit with Grond. I don't want to get hit with stuff. I play Weeper the Swifter and bring both the Hobbit and the Gandalf into
precisely when he means to.
Minas Tirith. And the reason I also bring the Hobbit, the Pippin, is because if you only leave Pippin in Fangorn, you cannot actually ent into ent. To ent into ent, you need Gandalf to be in Fangorn or in a Rohan region. And when they have 4 hit points in Orthanc, it's impossible to obviously kill Saruman with a single ent. So I think the extra Hobbit does more damage in Minas Tirith than in Fangorn. So that's why I bring him. My pawn drops on They Went. I get rid of Palantir of Orthanc. They get 1 use of Palantir, fair, like whatever. My opponent drops Grond. So this is one of the reasons maybe Guards is not as good as it seems, because if they just drop Grond and they just grind me down, I might not even get a chance to play it. So such is life. So they play a character card, and here I need to play something. Do you play Blade of Westerness to try to kill the Witch King? You know, I can certainly kill it, but like against this character card, probably unlikely. But I am shining. I no card it, and I'm. This is a very, very interesting situation, because I could definitely Path of the Voses for 5. Or 4, because Gandalf is shining anyway, and just get some hits. But Path of the Voses is, with this army in Edoras, would be really strong if I can maybe even restock Minas Tirith with the army in Edoras. So I really didn't want to throw it away. But again, I don't really have playable cards. So a Blade of Westerness, maybe against a strategy card, I would play, because it makes it that likely that I get a hit on the leader reroll. Yeah, I don't know. So my opponent drops Words of Power, cancels Gandalf, and they get no hits. So this is a great, like, huge roll for me. I'm like, okay, when they cancel Gandalf, they don't get any hits, and I get 3. 3 hits and no on the reroll. So Blade of Westerness would have failed. But yeah, now getting 3 hits, and it's only the first round. Oh my god, Witch King can just very easily die. So let's see. My opponent plays a strategy card. Gandalf is still shining. I am no carding it. Maybe here you play Blade to kill the Witch King, but we'll see. My opponent drops a Corsair's Deadly Strife. This is very risky. They get 3 hits, and I get 4. So Deadly Strife doing Deadly Strife things. I think they got like 5 dice. It's slightly above average, but you know, that's how you kill Gandalf, with Deadly Strife. So I kill, I reduce, take my 3 hits, And deal 4, like how are they gonna take their 4 hits? It was a... They killed the 2 elites. Okay, fair. Now it's a 4 against 5 with a single round. I definitely play Sudden Strike, trying to get 5 hits to kill the Witch King. If I get to kill the Witch King, it's really, really, really good because I can keep mustering and minister it and just completely change the fate of the game. Gandalf leadership doesn't count. I get 2 hits. I just need 3 hits on 8 dice. It is possible. It would be above average, but it is possible. I roll no hits. And my opponent stops. So, yeah. Against 3 units, I don't think I can sortie. It's a little too unlikely that I get 3 hits. But... Oh, okay, I sortie anyway. So another way to think about it actually is if I sortie, I get to muster and minister it. But they can just retreat and attack back at me to not allow me to muster. I think sorting there is wrong. Just play guards with this, and if they don't do anything, then sortie. But yeah, and if they just move everybody, I can just Path of the Voses. Oh, I just played Path of the Voses. Yeah, so that's why one of the reasons maybe not keeping Path of the Voses there is good. Because if they just move out, and I can just go teleport myself in Osgiliath, maybe I can storm Mordor with Theoden. That would be cool. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think sorting here is just a little too cute. But they're only rolling 3 dice to my 8. I really wish I had like Valor or something. But okay. No card. I get 2 hits. Funny. Valor would not have done it because I would have rolled 1 less, but such is life. I get 2 hits. Almost kill the Witch King. Now, this attack, I don't think you can do. They attack it. I'm thinking about field. They are rolling, again, only 4 dice to my 8. And I really want to stay out to be able to muster a regular elite. So I field it. I shine. No card. They get 2 hits. I get 2 back. They stop. So the moment they stop, I'm like, okay, at least I will get to muster. They play Ulukai. So we just take a breather to restock. I pass. They start pumping out the Oliphant Factory in Umbar. So pass. They muster 1 more time. I go with Frodo, and I am caught again, and it's a 3. It's not the worst tile, getting down to Gollum. Almost. And they Ring is Mine. Okay, they put Ring is Mine. So I'm not sure if I handled the Gandalf situation correctly, but yeah. I sortied with a character to be able to muster. I think the correct thing would have been to just move again with the ring and just used guards to muster an elite. And then just restocked up. And then maybe keep mustering in Pelargir to threaten this army. Like, that would have been maybe a good idea. Yeah. I think I should have gotten in Mordor this turn. Okay, turn 10. We get Eomer and File. I declare North Sicilian, Fellowship okay. My opponent allocates 1, I rolls 1 more, gets a bunch of muscles and attacks. They don't roll any character cards, which is huge, because by now they most likely have Cruel Weather, right? And Foul Thing and all those nasty cards. So the fact that they can't play any of them is huge. Like, I can just get in. And I roll a single movement to do so. And I don't think I'm in any rush to do so. I just really want to keep mustering in Minas Tirith, and I do. So they muster. Yep, I move. Probably should just muster one more time, but looking at my force pool, just muster a regular in Minas Tirith and regular in Pelargir. I don't want to make Dol Amroth such an easy target that they abandon Minas Tirith completely. But if they abandon it completely, maybe I go Storm Mordor. Could be an interesting. I think what my opponent really needs to do is take over Woodland Realm and Dale and just be at like 8 or 7 to threaten maybe the west side of Gondor. But I move. I don't want rerolls on me. I'd really appreciate if I'm not caught and I'm not cool. They muster reinforcements in Umbar and Minas Morgul. Fair. Regular. Makes sense. So they're clearly just amassing a massive army, which signals to me they're gonna go for Minas Tirith, but they muster another elite. They start moving out. And I'm not sure why you would want to leave an elite here, but with this amount of force, if you just like kept these guys in Minas Morgul, let's just assume you keep them in Minas Morgul and just merge the Umbar and Osgiliath and just go Dol Amroth Pelargir, I feel like you would have a better shot at maybe winning. It's just easier points is my point. But okay, I play File. I'm in Mordor. I want to be in, and they make a massive army. Exactly double my hit points. I'm 7, they're 14. And I play Athelas, and I really want to heal, and I get nothing. In the previous games, I played Athelas without Strider and got 2 heals, so now it's 0. It balances out fair, I guess. I would have really appreciated at least 1, which would be the expected, but oh well. Okay, so my opponent attacks Minas Tirith. Minas Tirith goes under again. I'm not sure. I don't think they can take it in one go, so I will definitely have time to play guards, I think. Because they don't have any leadership here. Like, that's the main benefit of, obviously, Gandalf. So, turn 11. I draw Smeagol and a Power to Great. Okay. Smeagol's great. Power to Great is great if they finally get into that Rage of Dunlendings and attack the Rivendell. Though my Elven Strong Pool, again, like, is tiny. So this is the hunt pool. 3 reds, 2 blues, bunch of eyes. It's gonna be quite the trek. Let's see what happens. It's definitely gonna take maybe 3 turns or more. So we'll see. Okay, my opponent allocates 1 eye rolls 2 more. I don't think they mind it. I roll single movement, bunch of musters. All right, we move. We don't want auto corruption. It's 0. That's really good. I'll take a 0 before. I would have really appreciated going down to Gollum, maybe with a 3. Or maybe I'm okay with even getting hit with a 3 reveal eye to get down to Gollum. But obviously, I'm not going to complain about a free movement. My opponent plays Black Captain Commands. They move Nazgul. They attack where? They're attacking Minas Tirith with a strategy card. They moved away all their Nazgul, presumably because Gandalf is gonna shine and it's useless. But yeah, that makes sense. They want to keep cycling cards. And I'm really like reluctant to play a Blade of Estinus because I'm gonna need it. So maybe I should play Valor, Eomer. Eomer is minimal effect at this stage in the game. Shines, strategy, yep, Eomer against Deadly Strife. My opponent gets 2 hits, which is good, which is now, they get 3, they get 2, now it averaged out. And I get 5 hits, so this is like one of those excellent, oh my god, game-saving situations. So here, how do you take 2 hits as free people, as damage, knowing that you have guards? I think my opponent is definitely going to stop. If I kill the elite outright to make space for the new one, right? That's one way to do it. Or I can just reduce to 2 elites. But then I don't have then I don't have the capacity to play guards. I think with this amount of masters, I should just kill the elite and and just play guards with one of my masters. And then just maybe muster a couple more like regulars and go attack, go harass. But I just decided to reduce because I figured they won't take it with a single round, which means I will have time to take it anyways. This is their second Deadly Strife. They don't have any leadership. They need to roll 5 hits on 5 dice to be able to take it. So I was like, I will have time. So now I'm like, okay, this Edoras army needs to do something, and I'm gonna go attack. I'm gonna go harass this army, right? And I go to Osgiliath. I'm not really sure why. Potentially to merge in Druden Forest and attack and make some use of these regulars. Plus, I mean, my opponent played Shadows Gather and Shadow Lengthen, so it doesn't really block any of those reinforcement cards. But maybe I could threaten Mordor. Where else am I going to move? Okay. My opponent attacks Fold, and this is a very... Actually, on paper, a very risky attack for them, because I can just Scouts away and they give me a free movement into Druden Forest. Or it just goes horribly wrong. They play a character card, I play my Ents. They play Cruel Weather. They get 3 hits, 4 hits, like, you know, okay. And I get 7, right? 4 plus 2, I get 6. So, a mutual destruction. But now this army is big, is much bigger than these 2 orcs. Yeah, they killed Nazgul, no reason. And I just go back to Vestimnet. I'm just going to attack Vestimnet. No card. Get my hit, luckily. To kill 3 Nazgul. And yeah, now I'm going to retake Helm's Deep. And I do have another elite in here to make it difficult for my opponent. My opponent starts mastering an Orthanc. Fair. They want to retake, I guess, Helm's Deep. They muster again. I muster Investinnet. My opponent drops the red. The final red. I attack Helm's Deep. Yep. This is really good. This is really, really good for me. My opponent tries Minas Tirith. They play a strategy card. I, again, don't play anything. I'm shining. No card. They drop the Day Without Dawn. They take 2 hits. Okay, like this is one of those cards that's dangerous. That could get a lot of hits. And they do get 5 hits. So this was like, oh my god, this turn has like changed the fate of the game, into oh my god, again, did the game changed again? Like, just Gandalf just died. Like, what is this roll? Because, okay, on 5 dice, on 4s, you're expected 2.5 hits. and I'm rolling 10 dice, so I'm expected like 3 hits against this 7 hit point army. So 4 plus, like, again, this is ridiculous. But yeah, there's not much to say. It was like it just felt awful, but it happens. And I do get my expected 3 hits, and suddenly Gandalf died, and I don't have Aragorn. I'm back to 4 dice, and Fellowship is only on the first step of Mordor. I'm basically at this point I'm like cooked. Yeah, I'm gonna retake Helm's Deep, but oh man, like now Guards is looking extra stupid in my hand, and I really don't have enough dice to do anything. By the way, my opponent didn't get the mouth. I'm not sure if they didn't have the muster or not, but definitely should have gone the mouth at some point. But anyway, so I get the ends, I get the scouts. Okay. My opponent allocates 2 eyes, rolls 1 more. I think I get a beautiful roll given the situation. I have cards I want to play. I want to move. I want to retake Helm's Deep. So, first things first, I take Helm's Deep. I think I do this because I don't want to get hit with half orcs and goblin men. I guess they could have drawn into it, but like, what else am I gonna use this attack? I really need to retake and like make sure that they don't. They make sure they don't reinforce Helm's Deep somehow. I think the only way would be half orcs and goblin men, and I charge because why not? Okay, we charge. Pre doesn't get anything, and I get my natural hit, which is really nice, and my opponent doesn't get a hit. Okay, so it's a little bit of luck back. Like, Helm's Deep is retaken, so, and it's fully stocked up, and I have an ant. So, I mean, I have no companions on the board, but oh well. My opponent musters in Orthanc. They're thinking about retaking it. I would just strongly consider just leaving Helm's Deep alone and just like, my opponent, I think, mustered 3 times in there. If you muster like 3 times in Northumberland, you can definitely take Rivendell, and this army again is still big enough to take like these 5 points, Woodland Realm and Dale, and now Minas Tirith has fallen, so that's 7. Yeah, where do you get your other points? I'm not really sure. Probably again Dol Amroth and Pelargir. Now that almost, I mean, I do have some units left behind, so it's not that clear, but this is a bit of an overkill, I feel. You might even want to take Grey Havens, funnily enough, because neither the dwarves nor the Northmen at war, so no help can come to Grey Havens. So I would strongly consider attacking Rivendell and Grey Havens at this point. But I flipped the Fellowship. Okay, we reconnect. My opponent attacks. I'm lucky enough to have drawn into another scout to be able to just scout into Woodland Realm. Now, Woodland Realm is much difficult, but obviously these armies are huge, so they will be able to take it. And North is at war, so maybe now Grey Havens is a little bit more off the table. But my opponent gets the mouth. I play Smeagol. I give a ring to move. I really cannot afford to just wait anymore. I need to get moving, and I draw the red eye, and it is a 3 reveal, so it does let me get down to Gollum. Okay, so now Mithril Coat Sting is also freed up to be played. So my opponent played 4 reds, so it's obviously fair that they draw 1. So my opponent is asking how breaking works. Okay. They funny. They did have half orcs and goblin and recruit where a shadow army is present. Yeah, they could have definitely used it to in Helm's Deep had I given them the opportunity, which was very well played in that case. So they use half orcs to not they take it back and they move armies. I really am not sure why these armies are moving out of Umbar and Nern. Just move out of Orthanc. Go towards Rivendell. I think the target, like, okay, you have forces here. Maybe you can use all these forces to take Pelargir, but also going for DA would be too much of a time waste, I think. But okay, so turn 13. Okay, we're an hour and a half in to the video. Let's just keep speeding up. My opponent allocates 2 eyes. Okay, that's illegal. Because I have a single companion, which is Gollum, and they add 2 more. Okay, I catch it. Cannot allocate 2 eyes. They roll to 1 to be a hybrid. Cool. And I roll that roll. When you have 4 dice, what do you expect? I'm going to be able to hide and ring move. My opponent's mustering in minus Morgul. Nope, they just do 1-1. Okay. They do another 1-1. Sure. I'm passing. They finally go to Fords and they finally move out of South Ithilien. I think they're a little too concerned about Free People military victory. Like, I would just merge. If you're going for somewhere in Pelargir, I would just merge and like empty out fully. Because I really don't have the dice to be able to do anything militarily. And even if I somehow, some way manage to get 1 stronghold, really, realistically, I cannot get 2. So they attack Helm's Deep. This is a big force, but no leadership means it might quickly decay down. And I do have some Ents, and I do have some cards that I can inflict some damage. Like, this siege is not the easiest. I finally play the Mithril. My opponent plays Ring Rates. They are bringing some... I would just bring some more Nazgul, personally. But oh well. They play a strategy card. I play... Okay, no, Quarter. Devil Riggy. Okay, 1 hit. That's really nice. They only get 1 hit. I get 3. Yep. They press. Yep. The moment you reduce now, you're losing leadership. That's probably why. I play Horn Dark into a Relentless Assault. They take 1 hit. They have another reroll. They don't get it. I roll 4 hits. So, yeah. Like, that army was what? 14 hit points? And, yeah, they just melted. Like, they did a single damage. I was at 8. Now I'm at 7. That army was 14. And it just melted with 1 Horn Dark and 1 No Quarter, which was 3 hits, 4 hits, 7 hits, and then you did 1 reduce and 1 in Relentless Assault. Like, it's just, yeah, then this, yeah. I'm never gonna sortie here, but maybe if I did, I can get Orthanc. But yeah, this is I think just the poor target selection. I would not have gone for Helm's Deep here. So I, use the muster to maybe attack from the outside. My opponent keeps mustering. I give them another ring to keep moving. And it's the Shelob. And of course, I'm going to mithril this. And it's the negative 1. Okay, at least that's some of the luck back, getting the -1 instead of the Shelob. But obviously, had to use the mithril. So I'm not out of the woods yet. There's still 3 reds. I still need probably 2 turns to dunk with 2 dice. Fellowship isn't revealed, so they cannot play Breaking, but they will be able to play it at some point. My opponent plays Half Orcs and Goblin Men. Okay, I guess they completely given up on Helm's Deep. So we go to turn 14, and I draw Gwa here and Red Arrow. I don't think Scouts is any useful at this stage. Maybe in Pelargir to help the Lamrod if they ever go that way. My opponent allocates 1 eye, rolls 4 more. And I get movement roll. Yeah, so this is gonna definitely decide the fate of the game. Because if I draw an eye, it's 5 reveal, it's just gonna be GG. They have breaking, they showed me that, so I'll be at 11. It's over if I draw a red, or maybe a Shelob 6, that could certainly be. I think a red is probably fine. I would obviously not want to get hit with it, but such is life. I really just want to avoid the eyes and maybe the reds. So it's like 7 out of 11. I have 4 tiles. If I add these reds to be okay, I don't mind these. It's a 6 out of 10. So it's like a 50-50 that I just immediately lose the game, maybe. I start by passing because there's literally nothing they can put in the pool that would make it worse. They muster an Orthanc again, and I start drawing character cards. I still have 1 blue, I think. Yeah, I still have 1 blue in the pool. I do have Bilbo's Song. I think that's my last healing card. And there's another way also. So drawing certainly makes sense. My opponent is reinforcing Helm's Deep, and they're moving out of Gorgoroth to Minismoggle. Okay, I play Bilbo's Song. Again, I don't think there's any reason to not play it, because if I draw into a high Shelob or an eye, at least I'm not immediately dead. My opponent here skips their die, which I was surprised about because they could draw. I mean, I guess they really don't have anything that could playable. Maybe they're running low on cards. They didn't want to risk it. But yeah, they asked me if they can, and I say if you want to, but okay. And I move because I don't want to get auto-corrupted. It's a 50-50. If I get a red, I will have to move through it anyway. So I move, and it's 0. It's like, oh my god, huge relief. Yeah, this was a huge move because against 5 eyes, great. My opponent stocks up in Helm's Deep. At this point, they played Grond, they played Fighting Urukai, they played Dread. I think they played Dreadful Spells. They played Black Captain Commands. They played Ring Raids. I don't think they have a single Palantir attack left in the deck. So they really can't take it, but can they win next turn? Because I'm thinking here, do I move again? Because I still need 2 movements, and my opponent is 5 points away. If they take Helm's Deep, they can certainly take Woodland Realm in next turn. They probably can take Pelargir next turn. Like, I mean, Helm's Deep is looking not likely, but they can take it. Like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, and they have 2 rings. They can ring attack here to one of them to make it even faster. Like, I'm thinking to myself, can they reach to 10 next turn? Right? And what do I do with this character? Do I move again? Because I really need to be able to dunk, and I have a single ring. If I'm revealed, I will need 3 character dice. I might not even get the chance to dunk next turn, so can they get to 10 next turn? And I tell myself that they definitely can, right? Like, they can even just maybe take Edoras. Like, take Woodland Realm, take Helm's Deep, maybe even go for Shire. Like they can. I told myself they can, but I'm looking at it. I'm really unsure. So I decide to skip this die. Tell myself they cannot go. I think they cannot win next turn. So I'm not gonna risk a 6 reveal eye move, because if I get hit with a 6 reveal, which is 4 and 10, yeah, I'm at 3. I'm immediately at 9. It's not the end of the world, but now it's very, very risky. Like I really need to hit this -2, 3, or 2 to win, which would be a 3 out of 9. So I decide to skip it. I'm not gonna risk it. Maybe they don't roll eyes and just I can just basically dunk through the reds, just like push it towards the reds, and we'll see what happens. My opponent uses a ring to attack Erebor. I mean, Erebor is clearly the correct target out of these. Makes sense. I might have Dane. Funnily enough, we're deep into the character deck, right? Strategy decks. So I might have it. So, which would make Wooden Realm the better target. But obviously, when I don't have it, I don't have it. So we go to turn 15. I draw a Daylight and another Ent. Okay, and the last Ent is actually really nice because that helps me defend Helm's Deep again. And Daylight is obviously Daylight. My opponent gets 1 eye, rolls 1 more. Okay, so now I really want to move, obviously, and I get no movement. You skip a die, you skip the character die, and you're like, oh man, why did I skip that? I could have dunked this turn, but now I cannot dunk. I can't even fake dunking because I don't have a Palantir to bluff. There's another way. So my opponent has this turn. I mean, at least my opponent rolled some Palantirs that are kind of useless, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks, and 1 attack here, 2 attack, 3, 4. Like they can definitely get it, depending on the dice. But so what I decided to do here I was trying to be a little sneaky. I was like, okay, I need to waste their attacks somehow, right? So I go to Fords and I go to North Ithilien, hoping that they, with their only muster, that they defend Orthanc. Again, I can technically get to 4 victory points if they just don't do anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna force them to muster. They might want to like race me to 10, right? I get to 4, they get to 10. Like they can definitely reach 10, but I was like, okay, maybe if I can induce some panic, I can just waste this attack because they also have a ring. So yep, I think they do it really doesn't matter, but they defend. Okay, they play Foul Thing, and I was really surprised by this. Am I surprised by this? Would I have played Foul Thing? I mean, it's a 4 out of 10 to hit an eye, and you really don't want to hit an eye. And I'm not even sure if you want to hit a red because given that there's only 2 eyes in the box, these reds are your own. I mean, I'm not moving, but I will move with the ring. These reds are your only good tiles, like stopping me, but like Foul Thing obviously doesn't move them back. And they played they used an attack to play it. I don't know. But they get an eye, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so nice. This is so lucky. It does increase the chance that they hit an eye on the movement, but such is life. They move Nazgul. Okay, they move Leader. Did they have to do that? I'm not really sure why they did that. Wasn't this full? Okay. I guess I can retake Dale if I really need to take away points, so they're like moving leadership. They're attacking North Ithilien.
They get a hit. I don't get a hit. Okay, so this was like really nice. It worked out nicely for me because I basically just with a single with a single army die, just managed to waste a bunch of their time. And with the rest of the Palantirs and no Palantir attacks, they cannot win this turn anymore. So they merge up in South Ithilien. I muster in Pelargir. They use a ring to attack into Osgiliath. No card. I scout. Really no other place that I would really want to use it. You know, Pelargir's a little bit more buff. I mustered Elite, Lost or Not. I basically mustered in Lost or Not, so maybe induce an attack into Lost or Not. My opponent plays many kings. Okay, they defend the south. I give them a ring to move, and this move is... I mean, I just avoid the red is my philosophy with this move. Just avoid the red, hopefully. Anything else, I'm fine by. And it's an eye. It's a 2 reveal eye. Yeah. They get to play Breaking, which they have shown me. And with the 2 characters remaining, they definitely have the lure as well. So they will definitely have a chance to play one of them. But I would really appreciate if they didn't play both. So let's see. For the 16th turn 16, I draw House of the Stewards and Celeborn. It's a daylight. We like it. I would have really appreciated maybe getting it There's Another Way, but cannot be picky. My opponent allocates 1 eye, rolls no more, which is really nice. And I get this beautiful roll. And they did play Day Without Dawn. I hide, so now the only way I lose is if I hit a red into red. Which is, what are the odds of hitting a red into red? Let's calculate. I'll calculate and come back. Okay, so the odds are almost 10% hitting a red into red. But obviously, if I get a red into red, if I get like a red Shelob, maybe some other tiles are deadly. So, you know. But I am waiting. There's literally nothing they can play. They played all Orc Patrol, Foul Thing, Isildur. They cannot do anything. I'm just waiting if they can get to 10 victory points. So first off, they attack Erebor. I play Daylight. Their final Deadly Strife. Okay, that gets 3 hits. Okay, fine. I get 3 back. They press. I play Sudden Strike again into Onslaught. Sudden Strike doesn't do anything. They get 2 hits. I get 1. They Onslaught for 2. They don't get anything. They press. No card, no card. And Erebor's done. Okay, so they're at 7. They draw a character card. I pass. They merge in Osgiliath. So here... here I decide to... I was like thinking about how to use these wolves, right? I'm like, what if I just muster in Pelargir and just fight against Osgiliath? Or maybe I just like let myself go to Lost or Not and then retake Minas Tirith. But I really don't have to do that. I can just retake... Can I retake Dale? And not be in danger of giving a free Woodland Realm? My opponent has technically only 3 attacks. So maybe not even taking Dale is fine. I really wanted to be able to... Maybe I should wait to see this attack first, to see how it pans out. But I want to... If I'm going to muster, I want to muster in Pelargir. So I feel like if I'm going to move, if I need to maybe... If I hit a red, right? If I hit a red, I will move again. If I don't, I win the game. So there's really no reason to potentially wait on this movement. If I hit a red, I'm gonna hide and move again. But if I'm gonna hit a red, I might not even hide and move unless my opponent gets to 10. And it's unclear if they take Helm's Deep in a single combat. When I have a Daylight and Snow Core, like it's unlikely. And they have 3 attacks, they can't reach Dolamroth. Like it's tough. Like they can, but they don't have to. But like if I hit a red, I might like see what happens then, right? But I move. So final move, I get the File of Galadriel. So yeah, that's the game. So yeah, crazy game. Turn 16, ring dunk. Yeah, the final file was a little bit like too much, I guess. But like obviously didn't need it. I would have also probably been okay through a red. A Shelob 6 would have been obviously horrendous, or a Shelob, like high Shelob, would be really bad. Any other tile was fine. So it's like I really didn't need the file. But obviously, I think Mordor overall was like average luck. Like again, this too doesn't really change anything. Did that 0 Elven Rope, was it? I think. Yep, Elven Rope was huge when I mithrilled that Shelob, and I did hit a red in the second movement, I think. So I think Mordor like was just genuinely similar. I did have mithril, so like I got 2 instead of 2 reds and 1 blue, I get 1 red and 2 blues. So that's what mithril does. So I'm not gonna like get too much luck out of that, I think. But yeah, it was a very, very long game, very close game. I was like really hyped that I was able to claw back after healing in Ministry 3 times. Like, given that the game ended and the Fellowship is at 4 corruption is crazy, right? But like obviously the zero reveal was lucky. Like it was like maybe slightly lucky as far as the Mordor runs go, not hitting that eye there. But like had it been a little unlucky, had I like gotten a little bit more damage done to me, I still would be at like 7, for example, had I not healed. Let's just assume that. I would still be like somewhat of a buffer, and that's the luck buffer, I would say. If I didn't have that luck buffer, I think it would have been still fine overall because I was able to heal. And yeah, it was an insane game. My opponent, I think they played really well. They put emphasis on corruption, just allocated a bunch of eyes, and catching the Fellowship. Not getting into Lorien was a very sad state of affairs. And maybe I should have crowned Aragorn, but yeah, it certainly worked out in that way that the corruption was an issue, and I would just basically been able to get there. And as far as the statistics, let's just show them as well. But so very long game. I'm very average on attacks, just a little higher on the hybrids instead of musters. Nothing crazy. As far as combat, I'm hitting +5, which is good. My opponent is +12 on attacks. So, that's good. And my opponent did not roll any more eyes. They're a little bit higher on the Palantirs, but nothing crazy. A little bit high. Like, they're just a tiny bit low on attacks compared to musters. Fine. A little bit slower on the military side, which allowed me to maybe heal a little bit more than I would have normally had a chance to. So I don't think the luck was like insanely in my favor in terms of the dice roll and whatnot. In fact, my opponent rolled a lot more 6s, and it kind of just shows that like sometimes it doesn't matter that much. Again, a little bit lucky Mordor, sure, but yeah, I think I handled it really nicely. So yeah, with this win, I am at a 9 wins to 1 loss in the first 10 games. And yeah, this was an epic game and definitely one of the longest games I've ever played. But yeah, we'll continue the coverage. I hope you enjoyed this. Please feel free to share your comments down in the comment section, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh my god, it's 2 hours long. See you later.